Hi everyone, my name is John Peveler. I'm here today with Tomahawk Live Trap to introduce you to the Freeman Leash Pole. The Freeman Leash Pole is, in my opinion, one of the more important tools that every agency should be looking into adding to their toolkit. It is exceptionally useful both in the shelter environment and in the field environment because it bridges an important gap between basic leashing and hand capture and carry techniques and more invasive techniques like catch pole use. So what we actually see is we see the pole and we see the leash. So you could see how it sort of bridges the gap between those two things. So it is effectively a slip lead built into a pole, and what that allows us to do is we can walk an animal on leash just as we normally would. So it's simply a slip lead. So it works well in that shelter environment with those more rambunctious animals, even if it's just something that you give to your volunteers so you add an extra layer of safety. So when you're walking on a leash, it's just a regular leash, and you can quickly transition into having more control to keep an animal away from your body and to move them through the environment. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a second. First, I want to show you a few of the attributes. So we do have this heavy ring, and the heavy ring is there for a couple of reasons. One, it applies the tool more quickly, so it actually goes onto the animal quite quickly. So when you're using it in the field for capture or with any kind of more difficult animal, it's going to go on very, very fast. It actually goes on one-handed. You're also going to see this piece of cord, and the piece of cord looks a little bit weird until you understand what it's for. So it's actually just so that you can hold the loop open. Let me open that right up. You can hold it open vertically or horizontally. So if you're in tighter spaces, you can go straight over and over the animal's head, or you can go horizontally. So it gives you a little bit of versatility. We also have the lanyard on this end. So I'm only going to use the lanyard if the animal is on the lower end of risk for myself. When I'm on the higher end of risk, when it's a more aggressive or more potentially dangerous fractious animal, I'm not going to use that because I'm not going to be attached to that type of animal in that circumstance. But I like having the versatility. So if I'm working in a shelter environment, I'm going to go walk that animal outside. I don't want to lose them. I have that option. And if I'm working with a more difficult, dangerous animal, I still have control just as I would with a control pole. So to walk you through the features of the leash pole, I'm actually going to demonstrate here on my stuffed dog. This is Jean-Pierre. Jean-Pierre got his name up in Montreal. I was teaching a class for Montreal SPCA, and they got the privilege of naming him when he was brand new. So a big shout out to Montreal SPCA and the crew up there. So to apply the leash pole, again, we hold that little cord and it goes right over the animal's head. When you release that ring, it goes right on. So you can apply that with one hand. So if you're baiting with the other hand, you can go on very quickly. If you're trying to reach your hand into a kennel or a crate or something, you can still apply it quite quickly one-handed. That's something I really like. That's an added benefit over the catch pole. You don't have to pull from the back. Another benefit for the more difficult animal is the gauge of the rope. So it's actually quite large. It's got a nice diameter, so it's going to be more comfortable. So when you're working in that category of leash trained animals used to having something around their neck, this is going to feel very normal to them. So it's just one less thing that you've got to worry about. If I want to transition from a basic walk to catch pole, all I need to do is pull the pole down to the animal. And see, I have the loose end in my right hand, and I'm just going to pull that down toward the animal. And now I have just as much control as you do with a catch pole. I've used this in the field. I've used it on dog meat farms and cruelty cases across the world. And we use it often in place of a catch pole. Sometimes we won't even bring a catch pole at all because this gives us a lot more flexibility with those animals. So I can very carefully just feed a little bit of rope through and I can alleviate pressure on the neck. Let's say I've pulled really tight right in that moment when there was a lot of risk to me, and now it's a little bit too tight. I'm going to back off just a little bit. I can feed just a little bit of rope in there, and vice versa. If it's on too loose, I can easily tighten it. I have a lot of control with this tool, which is something that I really appreciate. And at any point, the animal settles down. Let's say we're walking from a property, we come around the corner, and all of a sudden, animal flips out. Never been outside before, never been out front, approaching a vehicle, never seen a car. Animal reacts to that. I can transition very quickly, gain control, let the animal settle, and then I can transition right back. We can go right back to walking on leash again. So transitions are very quick with this tool. I love having that amount of flexibility. Now you'll see the pole is in contact here with the ring. Sometimes it's going to be along the side of the animal's neck or along the back of the neck, but we haven't had any issues with the end of this pole digging into the animal's neck. In no configuration is that possible. It's usually either up against the rope if you're on the opposite side, so the pole ends up pushing against the rope or against the ring, or along the side of the animal's neck, and in no case is that pinching the animal. I've not seen that happen in any circumstances whatsoever. In order to get it off, it's actually quite easy. See if I can get Jean-Pierre turned around. You simply push the pole into the ring, and that ring just falls right down. That's another reason why the ring is so large. So even if I've just gotten them into a crate, I can very easily get that off. I'm going to feed the pipe into the ring, and it's just going to fall right off. Just a close-up on that. Even with this stuffed dog, just put the ring over the pole, give it a little jiggle, and it comes right off. You may need to feed rope from the other end, and it comes off very, very, very quickly. Thanks for watching our video about the Freeman leash pole from Tomahawk. You can get yours from livetrap.com or anywhere else that Tomahawk products are sold. Please leave your comments below, and good luck if you ever film a video where there's a cat. Okay, I'm now going to pick up the leash pole. I'm going to walk the animal to my vehicle. Now I want to be able to adjust. Yeah, move your mouth while I'm talking. You think they'd notice if I just switched the video between me and you? And loose leash, walk them again. Loose leash is not something you should say during a training video. I just can't recommend it. It's too much of a tongue twister.